Hi, me again. I'm waiting for my hair to dry, so I had this thought of making a video. Uh, there's been a lot that's happened since my last video, so let's do what I do best and be chatty. Um, so I have two powered wheelchairs. One is a chair that's older. It's an older modeled wheelchair, and it's the one that I use most often in the house. I don't take it out very much because it is not covered by my insurance. And the reason it isn't covered by my insurance is because about 3 years ago, I tried to get a newer chair because it was time. And I learned a lot during that experience. One of the biggest lessons I learned is one of the things that I've actually made a video about, and that is the importance of self-advocacy. I was trusting the company that I was with to know me and to understand my needs, and I was trusting that they understood the process and the importance of new wheelchairs for their clients. And I was underestimating a lot, I suppose, and a lot of that is my bad, leaving it in someone else's hands, I suppose. All of that to say, I ended up with a chair that does not fit my needs. And I ended up being stuck with that chair. Primarily for two reasons. One, upon receipt of the chair, I was told that, or even before I received the chair, I was told that the company would work with me. When I say the company, I mean the people that actually maintain the chair for me, the more or less my mechanics, would work with me until the chair worked for me. That was my first mistake in trusting that, because that fell short and it just didn't happen. And the second thing was that I didn't know that I had a right to refuse the chair when it was initially delivered. I didn't know that option existed. So, because of those two reasons, I ended up I'm stuck with a chair that that is has limited function for me. And I say that because I work really hard at being as independent as I can. Being that I have limitations that I have little to no control over, maintaining certain mobilities and maintaining as much functionality as I can is very important to me. And with the newer chair, there's a lot that is kind of skewed in that area. The primary one being that I cannot transfer independently in or out of that chair, and I know that for me it's it's the chair that's not a match to my abilities, because the older chair that it was meant to replace, I've always been able to transfer in and out of it. And if it was a matter of me losing the ability to transfer due to, I don't know, whatever, age, body breakdown, I would lose the ability to transfer in and out of all the chairs, and that's just not the case. So there's that, and then there's the fact that I'm not comfortable in that chair. The way that I sit in it, the accessibility that it gives me to reach things is not comfortable, and physically I'm uncomfortable after a great period of time. I do have a tilt on that chair, which allows me to recline the chair, which is helpful, but overall the chair itself causes me a lot of muscle and skeletal pain. So for those reasons, it's not functional for me. I have changed companies that take care of the chair for me. I've changed mechanics, if you will, and this company has done the utmost that they can to modify it and make it as comfortable as possible. And a lot of their modifications have helped in some way. However, all things has its limits as to the adjustments and the modifications that can be made. And the chair is still highly uncomfortable and not functional for me. All of that to say, so my older chair went into disrepair because once you receive a new chair, your old one is no longer covered by insurance. So my former chair had fallen into severe disrepair, and it's more or less, it's been the house chair. It's been the chair that I've been using around my home because I can transfer in and out of it, and it's more functional for me. So and it fell in severe disrepair because it was no longer covered by my insurance. I recently got another company to pay for the repairs and updates on the newer chair, which is fabulous. I really appreciate that. They know who they are. I'm not going to call them out, but I'm very grateful for that resource. And it's been fabulous. The downside to this process is that it took I want to say it took about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and during that time I was in the chair that is less efficient for me, which means I was completely dependent on someone else to help with all of my transfers. So then in getting the chair back, once all of the parts finally came in, and then we were able to do what needed to be done to put the chair in decent repair and make it functional again. You know that saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. I have found that to be true. So my challenge over the past few weeks, because I've had the chair back for some time now, was that all of a sudden I had lost the ability to independently transfer. And that was not due to the repairs that had been done to the chair. It had to do with the fact that I had to be reliant on someone else to assist me in transfers. So I had basically lost the ability to transfer, and I'd say I'm right now, just so that it's been said, I'm working my way back to where I was. I'm at, I would say, somewhere between 90 and 95% back to where I was before I had my functional chair returned to me. Again, this was nobody's fault. It was just circumstances. The company that was working on the chair was very diligent and very understanding. But again, you can only do what you can do. But in the very short period of time that I was without the chair that I could transfer in and out of, I literally lost the ability to transfer because I was physically dependent on somebody else to help me with all of my transfers. I cannot tell you how frustrating that is, because every once in a while you'll end up with a situation where you'll end up with an injury or a mistransfer and you'll need help here and there. But when I lost the ability to do any of my transfers independently, it kind of messes with your head a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, is this what my future is gonna look like? And there were a lot of thoughts running through my head. I was very aware of the realities of the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. And sure enough, because I was a week and a half, 2 weeks without doing certain mobilities on my own, I had lost the ability to do so. And like I said, since then, today I've brought myself back up to somewhere between 90 and 95%. Because I think, speaking from my own experience and knowing my body, there's a few factors. One, it messes with your head, right? When you, at least for me, when I lose the ability to do something, because I'm already physically challenged, there's a certain level of frustration that will set in, and I think that's normal. What I'm constantly being told, and I'm grateful for in me, is what's not normal is that my brain doesn't allow me to stay in that this sucks phase for very long. I start trying to find solutions, or I start fighting back. And thankfully it's that has allowed me to bring myself back up to between 90 and 95% of my functionality of where I was before this chair went in for major repairs. I hope y'all are following this. I know it's a lot, and I know can be a little bit confusing. I'm just trying to share what my experiences have been. All of this to say that if you have the ability to do anything independently, even though sometimes it can be painful and it can be frustrating and you feel like you don't want to, or sometimes it's easier just to have somebody else do it. If you can do it yourself, I encourage you to do it. If it's something that you can learn, I encourage you to do that as well, because nothing is going to give you that never give up attitude and resilience of fight more than the ability to do something that you had thought was previously impossible, or something that somebody else told you was impossible. It's definitely worth fighting for. I don't care how small it is. So I think that's what has allowed me to not be or remain 100% dependent on somebody else to help me with my transfers. I'm very grateful that I have that support and that person is continuing to help me until I am fully capable of doing 100% of my transfers for the majority of the time. Nothing is ever 100% for me. Being a GIMP and being physically challenged, every once in a while, there's always like the mistransfer, or there's a shoulder injury that happens because by the nature of my condition, I tend to use my arms and my shoulders more frequently, and in ways that non-physically challenged people do. So, there are many different variables. The point is that resilience is key and determination is key. If there's something that you have been able to do in the past and there's no real reason why you shouldn't be able to do it again, even though going back to it because of an injury or because of other circumstances that were beyond your control, you weren't able to do it for a while, I encourage you to do whatever it takes to get back to where you were prior to that circumstance and beyond. Why set limitations? Why say, okay, well, I'm back to where I was, so I'm good? No, see what else is possible. For myself, I believe that there is so much more possible. I just have to find, I have to find a lot of things. Sometimes it's a matter of having to find the courage and the determination to do something, even though I seem to have that in spades in the eyes of some people. It can be really difficult because sometimes it feels like you're in it alone, even though you have friends and family that support you and they want the best for you. It's not really the same as being in it, right? So number one is being able to find the support that you need, and then when you have to realize that can only take you so far. You have to have self-motivation and a determination within yourself and a drive. You have to want more to get more. And here's another thing that I have found to be key is that I have had to learn that just because one person says, oh, this can't be done, or this isn't going to happen, that doesn't have to be my end story. That's their opinion. So I go somewhere else, especially if it doesn't make sense. I guess the message here is, keep fighting. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's a small thing, right? To have somebody help me rather, for a week and a half. Do transfers. It doesn't sound like that big of a deal on the surface, but when I already have limited mobility and my condition is such that, I was talking about how it's a mental game first and foremost. My mind is thinking, this is not, I have to remind myself, this is not a permanent thing. This is temporary. And then then it goes down to muscle memory, right? So a lot of my movements, and I'm assuming a lot of everybody's movements are based on muscle memory. Your muscles get used to doing things a certain way, and they almost work on autopilot. And I think a lot of my muscle memory had been fatigued. So I've kind of had to retrain my body. Oh yeah, this is what this is supposed to be. This is what this feels like, and I need to do that. And then the other thing is, like I said, the quote unquote newer chair has been causing me a lot of pain in general. So there was there's the process of overcoming all of those aches and pains while, dealing with the muscle memory issues and the psychological game that being so dependent for so long creates. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to break down what the experience looks like. So I've been dealing with that, and I think I'm doing okay. Would I like to be at 100% of where I was prior to getting the chair fixed? Yes, most definitely. But what I have to remind myself is that I'm making improvements every single day, and I'm never going to lose as long as I don't give up. So I'm really grateful for my son, who has been supporting me through all of this and encouraging me. So that's been an issue, and I've been as far as the whole chair scenario, it was like its own little mini drama. But now I'm on the other side of that, and I'm almost at 100% recovery as far as functionality. So that is a good thing. I am still in correspondence with my insurance to try to get reevaluated and get a chair that is similar to the one that is functional for me. But it has to be a newer chair because I've tried to get my insurance to switch coverage to the chair that is more functional for me, because that would make more sense. But they won't do that. So my next option is to try to find a chair that is very, very similar in design, so that it's more functional for me than the newer one that I currently have. And that one is it's a little bit of an uphill battle, because technically my insurance says that they'll pay for a wheelchair, but they'll pay for it and they'll cover it under your insurance as far as repairs and modifications until it is deemed unrepairable. Well, if that's the case, then I don't know how long it would be before, or how many years it would be before I qualify for a new chair that is more functional for me under the insurance guidelines. So I am trying to get kind of a medical exemption to try to get a chair that is more functional for me, because I think that it would be healthier for me to be in a chair that is comfortable for me to sit in, that is covered by my insurance, because yes, the older chair is now in good repair, but it is still not covered by my insurance. So the maintaining of it could be a challenge if I am forced to be dependent on the chair the majority or the entire time I'm in my home. So that's been one of the things that I've been dealing with as of late. And there have been some health challenges as well. And I'm not going to go too far into those right now. More so for the fact that I don't have all of the information to offer yet. but I am learning that self-advocacy is really, really, really important. I mean, I've always known that, but it's another thing when you're confronted with it. So I'm really big on being self-advocating and trying to express myself in a manner that is that is that is well mannered and explanatory, because again, a lot of the people making these decisions, they don't know me personally, and let alone they don't have to live with the obstacles and the challenges that I do. So a lot of it is a lot of my self-advocacy is creating awareness, and it's interesting because I've always said the greatest way I feel to create change is by bringing awareness to the forefront. So my life has been forcing me to do that as of late. So I hope that it will benefit others, not just myself, in the future. So yeah, I've been dealing with some I would say minor to medium health concerns. Just not even concerns, more like challenges, I would say, for the time being. Like I said, I can't go into details about it because there's still a lot that's undetermined. I don't, none of it is life-threatening, thank goodness, at least to my knowledge. So I'm doing good, but there are challenges nonetheless. And in all of that, you know, I'm still trying to figure out my grieving process. I still cry every day. I still grieve all 3 losses every single day. You know, and it's difficult because I'm trying to really focus on self-care and do what I need to do for me. But, you know, it's like I've said in my other videos, the outside world, you know, the world keeps spinning, and it doesn't matter what you're going through. The world as a whole just, it, you know, and present times does not care that you're grieving. You know, there's still bills to be paid, and errands that need to be ran, and meetings that need to happen, or forms that need to be filled out to maintain certain services and certain level of functionality in life. And that's the society we live in. So yeah, I'm just trying to navigate all of it, trying to figure it all out. It's so odd to think that 3 months ago I had a routine. I had set plans. I knew what needed to be done, and now even though the goals still remain the same, because the roadmap has somewhat changed, and the landscape just looks different. But in general, the goals are the same, but because the landscape looks so different and there are those changes, I'm sorry, I told myself I was done crying on camera, but here I am. But because of those changes that have taken place, and because I feel those losses so deeply, they're major, and it really affects me. It's weird how my goals in general are the same, but everything else is just, it's not as clear. The roadmap is not as clear, and I feel like there's a lot. I'm feeling like I have to figure out how to navigate on a different level, which is really weird, because for the reality is that Carla, my spouse was in a different location physically, and my sister was even in a different location. So, them not being here physically, I don't even know the words I'm trying to say. It's impacted me in ways that I would not have, and I did not anticipate. And so I'm trying to figure out how to navigate through things beyond the emotional part of it. Just kind of navigate things now that certain circumstances are different. And they're not physically here. Trying to navigate it and figure out how to move forward, and what that's going to look like. Has been kind of overwhelming. Another challenge that I'm running into, which is really weird, is that I have moments where I feel like I have it together and I'm doing okay, and then something will happen. Either I don't know, it could be I saw a video, or somebody mentioned something that made me think of somebody, or just something really random will happen, and it will bring me back to one of the three individuals that have transcended, or it'll just bring it all back all at once. And so then all of a sudden I go from I'm okay and I'm functioning to I need to get out of here. And I get that it's all part of the process, and I do have people that I'm talking to, and I do have things that I'm doing to help me work on processing everything that I'm feeling, and everything that I'm going through in general. So, like I said, my focus right now is, more so than anything else, is self-care and trying to figure out what that can look like for me. So, and I've, and there have been people that I work with, and, and they come and they go, and that's part of, life's process. They leave and they, and I'm just like, but part of me is like being really selfish right now. And I'm like, can everybody just not? Because I need some kind of stability. I need the less change I can experience right now, I feel like the better for my emotional well-being. But the reality of it is that that's not life, life continues to move forward. And so, excuse me, I need to adjust myself. So life continues to move forward, and so now I need to figure out what it is I want, or how I want my forward to look. There's a saying that time heals all wounds, and I know a lot of people mean that, and I know that the meaning behind that is supposed to be something of encouragement, but my experience has been, even prior to this, has been that that's not necessarily the case. For me, it isn't that time heals all wounds necessarily, but time can do a couple of things. Number one, time can offer perspective, which can help in certain circumstances. But when it's something that's personal like this, and it's deep like this, regarding loved ones, time offers me the opportunity to gain skills. The skills to manage the pain when it comes, and to embrace the memories and ways to honor my loved ones. That's my own opinion and experience. So let's see, we covered the wheelchair, we covered briefly, we covered that I have minor health issues that I'm looking into, and we covered my grief again. All of that to say, there are some good things happening. I've been spending more one-on-one time with my grandson, which is kind of neat. It brings me back. It really does bring me back to when his father was his age, and we were doing life and running the errands and doing the things. So that's kind of nice. Some skills you don't lose. I've learned that. I can, I still function outside of the home with a youngster, so on occasion, so that's neat. I still have those skills and abilities. That's nice. And right now I'm just, I'm still trying to figure out the best way for me to process everything that I'm feeling, and process everything that I'm feeling and continue forward with my goals and trying to figure out how and how I want that to look and what I need to do to get there. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing those things. I know for upcoming videos, I would really like to do maybe a day in the life kind of video. I would like to do questions and answers kind of videos. I would like to I don't know. I see a lot of content creators do shop with me videos, and I've thought about that, but then I'm like, okay, but everybody else is doing that. But I guess I could do it from my perspective, being, physically challenged, and with my assistants if they're up for the challenge. I don't know. We'll see what the future has to offer. I have a few ideas, and I'm gonna be working with some other people to try to bring them into fruition. So I hope you stick around, and thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding and your kind words. I really do appreciate it, and I really hope to see you, or for you to see me again real soon. Bye-bye.